used to work as a janitor at this old psychiatric facility up in upstate New York. You know the type. Long, winding corridors, those high ceilings that make you feel small, and windows that seem to block out all the light. It was a place with a vibe that could give anyone the creeps, but there was this one room that everyone avoided talking about. Seriously, not even the doctors would bring it up. They just referred to it as Room B13. It was like it had some kind of undefined reputation that loomed over the whole place. People whispered about it when they thought no one was listening, and I couldn't help but wonder what secrets it held. I was completely unaware of the existence of the room until I stumbled upon a key marked B13, nestled at the bottom of a mop closet. Intrigued, I began to inquire about it among the staff. To my surprise, a palpable silence enveloped the room, as if my question had unearthed a collective unease. One nurse, her expression grave, met my gaze and cautioned, "Don't open that door." This warning only piqued my curiosity further. Despite the foreboding atmosphere, I made the decision to unlock the door. The room, it felt profoundly unsettling. It existed in a state of undefined reality, devoid of corners and shadows that might offer a sense of familiarity. Every wall gracefully curved into the next, creating an endless flow that disoriented my senses. I found myself lost in its embrace, unable to discern where it began or where it ended. The color enveloping me was a pale, fleshy hue, reminiscent of tender skin. And it struck me in a way that was both intimate and unsettling. It felt as if I had stepped into the very core of someone's being, a space that was simultaneously haunting and strangely alluring. In that moment, I couldn't help but reflect on the fragility of existence, the delicate balance between comfort and unease. This room, with its undefined boundaries, echoed the complexities of our own hearts and minds, reminding us of the intertwined nature of our fears and our desires. I must have lingered there for just 5 minutes, yet when I finally stepped out, the world had transformed into a canvas of shadows. The clock in the hallway stubbornly read 3:47 a.m., a stark reminder that time had slipped through my fingers like water. I had entered that space at noon, the sun shining brightly, life bustling around me. Now, my phone displayed the haunting words, "No time," a phrase that resonated with an unsettling, undefined void. I glanced at my reflection in the glass, and to my surprise, it blinked a second after I did, as if it were caught in a dance with the very essence of existence. I approached the head doctor, eager to share my concerns. However, to my astonishment, he didn't even flinch. Instead, he casually slid a tape recorder across his desk and said, "We used to put patients in there. Listen to this." Curiosity piqued, I leaned in and listened intently. The audio was haunting, a woman's piercing screams, followed by heart-wrenching sobs. It was a raw, visceral display of despair. But then, amidst the chaos, I heard something that sent chills down my spine. A whispering voice, eerily familiar, saying, "I live here now." I found it necessary to return. The rationale behind this compulsion eludes me. It was simply an undeniable urge. Upon entering, the atmosphere was strangely alive, as if the very walls were inhaling and exhaling in a rhythmic cadence. In a moment of desperation, I screamed, but the sound dissipated into the ether as though it had been consumed by an unseen force. It was an unsettling experience, one that left me feeling devoid of agency. Then, in a surreal twist, the door vanished before my eyes. I was no longer contained within the confines of the room. Instead, I felt as though I had been absorbed into something far more expansive and enigmatic. I found myself in a space that was not solitary. Surrounding me were others, their forms hauntingly familiar yet distorted. Their faces appeared as grotesque reflections of my own, each one an exaggerated version of my features, twisted and stretched beyond recognition. As I observed them, a chilling chorus emerged, repeating the unsettling phrase, "We are your corners now!" I have ceased the act of mopping floors. In fact, I find myself deprived of sleep as well. Each time I attempt to close my eyes, a haunting resonance fills my mind. I can vividly envision that room, an unsettling space, characterized by its absence of corners, In this confining environment, it is solely me, enduring an eternal confinement.